The doorbell rang insistently that stormy evening in suburban Chicago, pulling me from the depths of my law school notes. I opened the door to find my childhood best friend, Mark, drenched and trembling, his eyes wild with desperation. "Alex, I can't hide it anymore. I'm in love with you," he blurted out, collapsing into my arms as thunder cracked overhead, forever altering the course of our lives. I stood there frozen, rain splattering the welcome mat, my mind reeling from the confession. Mark and I had grown up together in this quiet neighborhood, sharing secrets, dreams, and countless adventures since we were kids. But this was a bombshell I never saw coming. As I helped him inside, drying him off with a towel from the hall closet, I felt a strange mix of shock, confusion, and an unfamiliar warmth stirring in my chest. Had I been blind to the signs all these years? The late-night talks, the lingering hugs, the way he'd always put me first. Suddenly, they clicked into place like puzzle pieces I hadn't known were missing. Mark slumped onto the couch, his wet clothes clinging to his athletic frame, built from years of high school football. He was the golden boy of our town. Star quarterback, valedictorian, now a rising junior at Northwestern studying business. Me? I was the introspective one, buried in books, aiming for a career in civil rights law to fight the injustices I'd seen growing up in a conservative family. Our friendship had been my anchor, but now it felt like it was pulling me under. "Why now?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper as I handed him a mug of hot coffee. He looked up, his blue eyes piercing through the dim living room light. "Because I saw you with Sarah last week at the diner." It hit me like a truck. I can't stand by and watch you pretend anymore. Pretend? The word stung. I'd been dating Sarah casually for months, trying to fit into the mold my parents expected. The straight-A son who'd marry a nice girl, settle down, and continue the family legacy. My dad, a stern factory manager, and my mom, a devout church volunteer, had drilled those expectations into me since birth. Being gay wasn't an option in our household. It was a sin, a deviation, something to pray away. I'd buried any fleeting attractions to guys deep down, convincing myself they were just phases. But Mark's words cracked that facade wide open. As we talked through the night, he confessed how he'd struggled with his feelings since puberty, hiding them behind girlfriends and sports accolades. The vulnerability in his voice tugged at something primal in me, a recognition of my own suppressed truths. By dawn, the storm had passed, but the turmoil inside me raged on. I didn't reciprocate his confession outright, but I didn't push him away either. Instead, I suggested we take things slow, explore what this meant without labels or pressure. Mark agreed, relief washing over his face, but I could see the fear lurking beneath. What if our families found out? What if the town turned against us? Chicago's suburbs weren't exactly progressive havens. Whispers of scandal could ruin reputations overnight. As he left my apartment, promising to text later, I stared at the closed door, wondering if I just opened Pandora's box. Over the next few weeks, our friendship evolved into something tentative and electric. Stolen glances at coffee shops, walks in Millennium Park where we'd brush hands accidentally on purpose, late-night drives along Lake Michigan sharing dreams we'd never voiced before. Mark opened up about his conservative parents, his dad, a retired cop, and mom, a homemaker who quoted Bible verses at dinner. They'd disown him if they knew, he said, his voice cracking. I shared my own fears, losing my scholarship if word got out, facing my parents' wrath. Yet, in those moments, the world felt alive in a way it never had. I was falling for him, hard and fast, but the guilt gnawed at me. Was I betraying my family by even considering this? The internal conflict built like a pressure cooker, every secret meeting a step closer to explosion. One evening, as we sat on a bench overlooking the city skyline, Mark leaned in and kissed me softly. It was my first real kiss with a guy, and it felt right, terrifyingly right. But as fireworks erupted in my chest, doubt crept in. What price would we pay for this? I pulled back, searching his eyes. "We have to be careful," I whispered. He nodded, but I could sense the impatience brewing. Little did I know our caution wouldn't last long. The turning point came at a family barbecue at my parents' house. Mark was invited, as always, the brother from another mother. Laughter filled the backyard, burgers sizzling on the grill. But under the table, his foot brushed mine, a silent affirmation that sent my heart racing. Later, when everyone was distracted, we slipped into the garage for a quick moment alone. "I can't keep pretending," he murmured, pulling me close. Just then, the door creaked open. My sister, Emily, stood there, eyes wide. She gasped, backing away. Panic surged through me. "Emily, wait!" But she was gone, fleeing back to the party. That night, she confronted me in my old bedroom, tears streaming. "How could you? Mom and Dad will freak." I begged her to keep quiet, promising it was nothing serious. She agreed reluctantly, but the damage was done. The secret was out, even if just to one person, and the walls started closing in. Emily's silence lasted exactly 2 weeks before cracks appeared. She started avoiding me, her texts curt and evasive. I knew she was wrestling with her own morals. Raised in the same strict household, she viewed homosexuality through the lens of our church's teachings. One afternoon, she cornered me at a local cafe. "Alex, this isn't you. Think about what you're doing to our family." Her words hit like daggers, echoing the internal battle I'd been fighting. I defended myself, explaining it wasn't a choice, but love, real, raw love. She shook her head, tears welling. "Love? Or rebellion? Mark's influencing you." That accusation stung. Was I just following his lead? Or was this truly me? Mark sensed the shift when I told him about the confrontation. We were in his dorm room at Northwestern, the city buzz of Evanston filtering through the window. "We can't stop now," he urged, his hand on my shoulder. But doubt seeded in me. What if Emily was right? The societal pressure weighed heavy. Friends from high school posting about their engagements, my parents hinting at grandkids. I felt like a fraud, living a double life. That night, we argued for the first time. "You're scared," Mark accused. "And you're reckless." I shot back. We parted angry, but the makeup the next day was passionate, reaffirming our commitment. Yet the rift lingered. As summer turned to fall, our relationship deepened amid growing secrecy. We attended underground LGBTQ+ meetups in the city, where I met others facing similar struggles. One guy, Tom, shared his story of coming out and losing his job, a stark reminder of the stakes. Mark thrived in these spaces, but I felt exposed, paranoid about being spotted. Back home, my parents noticed my distraction. Dad pulled me aside during a family dinner. "What's eating you, son? You're not yourself." I mumbled about school stress, but his probing gaze unnerved me. Mom chimed in with church events, subtly pushing heteronormative ideals. The hypocrisy burned. They preached love but conditioned it on conformity. The conflict escalated when Mark's ex-girlfriend, Lisa, reappeared. She'd suspected something during their breakup and now confronted him at a party. "I knew it," she sneered, loud enough for others to hear. Rumors spread like wildfire through our social circle. Friends distanced themselves, whispers following us. One night, a group of old teammates cornered Mark in a bar. "Faggot." One spat, shoving him. He fought back, but the brawl left him bruised. I rushed to his side, tending his wounds in my apartment. "This is the price," he said bitterly. "Are you willing to pay it?" I nodded, but inside terror gripped me. The societal backlash was real, chipping away at our resolve. Internally, I grappled with ethics. Was hiding our love moral? Deceiving our families felt wrong, yet revealing it could destroy them. I sought solace in books on queer history, learning about Stonewall and ongoing fights for equality. It empowered me, but also highlighted the divide in America. Progress in cities, stagnation in suburbs. Mark pushed for us to come out, arguing authenticity over safety. We can't live in shadows forever. I resisted, fearing the fallout. Our debates grew heated, exposing cracks in our foundation. Pivotal moment came at Thanksgiving. My family gathered, the table laden with turkey and tension. Emily avoided eye contact, her discomfort palpable. Midway through, she excused herself, pulling me into the kitchen. I can't keep this secret anymore. It's eating me alive. Panic surged. Please, give me time. But she was resolute. That night, she told our parents. The confrontation was explosive. Dad's face reddened, veins bulging. This is a phase. We'll get you help. Mom wept, quoting scriptures. I denied it at first, then broke down, admitting my feelings for Mark. The room fell silent, then erupted. Dad ordered me out, disowning me on the spot. I grabbed my coat and fled into the cold night, calling Mark in tears. He picked me up, driving us to a motel. We'll figure this out, he promised, holding me as I sobbed. But the damage was irreparable. My scholarship was at risk if word spread to the university. My future hung by a thread. Mark's parents, hearing rumors, cut him off financially. We were adrift, relying on each other amid the wreckage. The psychological toll mounted, sleepless nights, anxiety attacks. Yet, in the chaos, our bond strengthened, a beacon in the storm. As the file progressed, betrayal loomed. A close friend, jealous of our connection, leaked photos online. Social media exploded with hate comments, amplifying the societal rejection. We faced job discrimination, Mark losing an internship. The decisions we made, standing together versus retreating, defined us. Each choice carried a cost. Lost relationships, shattered dreams. The tension built toward inevitable confrontations. With my family in ruins, I crashed at Mark's dorm, our lives intertwining out of necessity. The university's progressive policies offered some sanctuary, but the stares and whispers followed us. One professor, sensing my distress, pulled me aside. There's support here, counseling groups. I attended a session, pouring out my story to strangers who nodded knowingly. It helped, but the void left by my parents ached constantly. Letters from Mom arrived, pleading for repentance. Dad's silence spoke volumes. Mark's family reacted worse. His dad showed up unannounced, pounding on the door. "You're no son of mine," he bellowed, disowning him publicly. Mark stood firm, but the rejection crushed him. He turned to alcohol, nights blurring into hangovers. I confronted him. "This isn't helping," he lashed out. "Easy for you to say. Your family's just disappointed. Mine hates me." The argument escalated, revealing resentments. Was our love worth this destruction? The moral quandary deepened. Had we selfishly upended lives for personal happiness? Societal pressures amplified the drama. At a protest for LGBTQ+ rights in downtown Chicago, we marched hand in hand, empowered yet vulnerable. Counter-protesters hurled slurs, one throwing a bottle that grazed Mark's arm. The incident made local news, outing us further. Friends from childhood unfriended us on social media. Invitations dried up. Emily, torn between loyalty and belief, reached out sporadically. "I miss you, but I can't condone this." Her words fueled my inner turmoil. Was I the villain for choosing love over family? A shocking betrayal came from an unexpected source. Tom, from the support group, confessed feelings for me, kissing me during a vulnerable moment. I pushed him away, guilt-ridden. When I told Mark, he exploded. "How could you?" Trust fractured, we separated briefly. Alone in a cheap apartment, I reflected on choices. Honesty versus omission, love versus stability. Reconciliation came slowly, apologies exchanged, but scars remained. The high-stakes decisions piled up. Mark applied for scholarships. I took a part-time job at a gay-friendly cafe. We navigated healthcare biases, therapy sessions unpacking trauma. The narrative tightened, conflicts internal and external clashing. Dad's health scare, a heart attack, forced a reckoning. Mom called. He wants to see you. I went, hospital room tense. I don't understand, but you're my son, Dad grumbled. A fragile truce, but no acceptance. The emotional whiplash left me drained. As winter set in, our relationship tested further. Mark's drinking worsened, leading to a DUI. I bailed him out, furious. You're self-destructing. He admitted the pressure was breaking him. We sought couples counseling, delving into Thuan Dao Duk. Sacrifice for love or self-preservation. The sessions unearthed buried resentments, pushing us toward growth or collapse. Rebuilding amid ashes, Mark and I moved into a small apartment in Boys Town, Chicago's gay neighborhood. The vibrant community offered refuge, but isolation from our past lingered. Work at the cafe introduced allies, stories of triumph inspiring us. Yet, betrayal struck again when Lisa, Mark's ex, spread vicious lies online, accusing us of breaking up her relationship. The post went viral, attracting trolls and threats. We reported it, but the damage to our mental health was profound. Internal conflicts raged. I questioned if Mark was worth the pain, flashbacks of family holidays haunting me. He sensed my wavering, leading to explosive fights. If you regret us, leave, he'd yell. Reconciliation followed, but the cycle exhausted us. A moral crossroads emerged. Forgive betrayals or cut ties? We chose therapy, unpacking layers of hurt. Family pressures intensified. Mom organized an intervention with church elders, ambushing me at a coffee shop. This lifestyle is sinful, repent. I stood my ground, walking out empowered yet heartbroken. Dad's recovery brought tentative outreach, but conditions attached. Leave Mark. Come home. The ultimatum forced a choice, love or blood ties. I chose Mark, paying with estrangement. Societal backlash peaked at a work event. My boss, overhearing slurs from a customer, fired me subtly, citing fit. Discrimination lawsuit considered, but resources scarce. Mark's job hunt stalled due to background checks revealing the DUI. Desperation mounted, leading to risky decisions. He considered moving to California for a fresh start. I hesitated, tied to Chicago roots. A dramatic confrontation unfolded with Tom. He apologized, but revealed he'd been feeding info to Lisa out of jealousy. The revelation shattered trust in our new circle. Mark punched him in rage. I pulled him away, the scene chaotic. Police involved, charges dropped, but reputations tarnished. The incident highlighted the cost of vulnerability, friends turning foes. As tensions crested, Emily reappeared with news. She was pregnant, wanting family unity. For the baby, please. The plea tugged at my heart, ethical dilemma sharp. Prioritize self or legacy? I attended a family meeting, Mark waiting outside. Accusations flew. I defended our love. Dad softened slightly, but no resolution. The night ended in tears. Bridges burned further. In the aftermath, Mark and I clung to each other, but cracks widened. His sobriety slipped. I enabled it initially, then confronted. We can't survive like this. Rehab suggested, he resisted. The standoff led to a temporary split. I stayed with a friend, reflecting on sacrifices. Alone, I realized the toll. Lost education opportunities, strained health. Yet, love persisted. Reunion came via a heartfelt letter from Mark, promising change. We reconciled, but warily. Family dynamics shifted when Emily gave birth. I visited secretly, holding my nephew, emotions overwhelming. I want you in his life, she whispered. The moment sparked hope, but Dad's refusal dashed it. Moral debates intensified. Compromise identity for inclusion? Societal hurdles continued. A job offer in San Francisco tempted us. Progressive environment, better prospects. Packing meant abandoning roots, a heavy price. Friends advised against it, we debated endlessly. Ultimately, we moved, the cross-country drive symbolic of rebirth. New city, new challenges. Higher costs, culture shock. Mark thrived in a supportive workplace. I pursued law again, interning at an LGBTQ plus firm. Betrayal resurfaced via an anonymous email. Photos from our past, threatening exposure. We traced it to a disgruntled ex-friend. Confrontation via lawyer quelled it, but paranoia lingered. The incident underscored vulnerability, decisions weighing heavier. Personal growth emerged through therapy. I forgave family partially, sending olive branches. Mom responded warmly. Dad remained distant. Mark's family cut contact entirely, a wound unhealed. The narrative delved into awakenings, recognizing self-worth, challenging norms. High drama peaked with a health scare. Mark's appendix burst, hospital rush. In waiting room, I called his parents. They hung up. The rejection fueled my resolve. Recovery bonded us, but highlighted fragility. Choices defined. Embrace authenticity, pay the price. Settled in San Francisco, we built a life, careers advancing, community embracing. Yet, echoes of past haunted. I volunteered at Pride events, advocating for others, finding purpose in pain. Mark joined, our story inspiring youth. Internal peace grew, but family voids persisted. A surprise visit from Emily bridged gaps. I've educated myself. I'm sorry. Reconciliation tentative, but healing. She facilitated a call with parents. Mom tearful, Dad gruff but present. No full acceptance, but dialogue opened. The moral complexity lingered. Right to love versus familial duty? Societal integration brought fulfillment, but reminders of discrimination. Bills failing in Congress kept us vigilant. Our relationship matured, weathering storms into stability. Awakenings profound. From denial to pride, losses teaching resilience. The story closed with reflection. We'd paid dearly. Fractured bonds, emotional scars, but gained authenticity. Was it worth it? In the end, was choosing love over conformity the right path? Or did it selfishly inflict unnecessary pain on those we cared about?